Unerwartet singt eine schöne Frauenstimme.
Young and lovely. Yeah, and a girl from and when she was 13, they all sang. Welcome everybody, you're listening to Fold by Fold, the podcast on new music, experimental music around the world, every kind of experimental you've got out there. And today we're talking to Toivo Aaltonen, better known as Rautakeuhko, a Finnish hip-hop, abstract music, experimental sampling music phenomenon. It's a huge pleasure to talk to Toivo. Hi Toivo, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Nothing much really. Life's been life.
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's only fair to our listeners to disclose that we've been talking before. Like I've been knowing
for a few years. Yeah.
Exactly for quite some time.
Closing down on 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. Almost 4 years now. So yeah. This is not our first time hanging out, and
No.
you will see that there's zero spontaneity here, except for my interviewing, which has been almost prepared, not at all, because we kind of decided on doing this very spontaneously. But like looking at your Bandcamp page, holy shit! Like there's a lot of stuff that I've missed. I think the last one I listened to was Sentiertheit Decimala.
Yeah, which was last year, or last year.
I think so. Yeah. And now today I listened to a little bit of Kaleva Boogie, which let's talk about that for a start. Holy shit! Like what's going on there?
This is just the compilation of tracks I made during a bit before and mostly after I moved from Tesoma to Kaleva, which is Tesoma is one suburb area in my hometown Tampere, and then there's Kaleva, which is close to central Tampere, where I live currently.
Okay.
So there's like a compilation album of tracks I made, mostly like unrelated to any concept, just during and after the move in August last year.
Very nice. Okay, yeah, there's quite a range of material on there. Like it starts out with,
I don't remember what's on there.
It's insane.
There's no track list.
Of course, your stuff will be linked in the video description on the Fold by Fold podcast, so your listeners can check it out. But basically, to give it a brief description of what I've heard, and I've only heard like half of it, it starts out with like angular math rock, kind of noisy math rock riffage and some drum machine work, and then all of the sudden, then all of a sudden you have like an ambient interlude which seamlessly kind of transitions into a G-funk track.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. So this thing is so good. I can't wait to listen to it in full. Sadly, I'm very unprepared for this episode. Yeah, that's just a shame.
We'll survive.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me just run through the general interview shtick with you. Like, what's your origin story relating to music? Like, how did you come to doing what you're currently doing?
I had extra time in vocational college to work on my own projects, which ended up first starting from like a suggestion of musical therapy from a school, like psychological counselor person, and then I realized, hell no, I don't have time for that. So I took time in between and during classes to go into spaces we had for video editing, which were like no sound leakage kind of small rooms, and then I took down a pirated FL Studio onto a school computer. Bad idea, got a virus on a school computer. And then after that, from like 2016, 2015 maybe, more like 2016, I've been working on and off making hip-hop music, and essentially it was spontaneous, and I really just jumped into it. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, and I still don't have an idea of what I'm doing.
It's really quite amazing. Like you've put out a lot of stuff, and There used to be an old SoundCloud account, which unfortunately got taken down, which had even more stuff. I think
Fuck copyright
you
law.
also have a SoundCloud account, right? Where there's
Currently, yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I have one where I have older tracks, and now I have a new one again.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit. And then we've also collaborated on Lungterror, which is
Yeah.
kind of its own thing, and it got put out by a small Dutch label, and it's also
Yeah.
on streaming. I think it's definitely my only project on streaming. I think you have a little bit more on streaming, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I'm just
And
telling this basically as a memo to myself, so I remember to
Yeah.
link to all this stuff later.
I have 2 on a Finnish hip hop label and mostly self-released on Spotify.
Yeah, so that's honestly so much stuff. It almost seems more smart to just ask you, like, what are some projects that you want to pick out to talk about?
I think Muotokuvia, the one with the very
Yeah.
psychedelic,
yeah.
colorful,
That's
goddamn
like,
cover image, and
early 2020? Yeah,
I think it was
January 2020.
2019. I think it was 2019 on Spotify. I think.
Ah, maybe. Yeah, here on Bandcamp it says January 6th of 2020.
Yeah, because I started Bandcamp a bit late, considering how much I used it.
Okay.
And I guess maybe Eteläsilta, the Eteläsilta mixtape's pretty good thing to talk about. And
Okay, then
Wait.
let's do it like chronologically. Let's start with Muotokuvia. Tell me
let's
something
go
about
ahead.
that. Like I already know basically everything about this album. I've talked to you a lot about it, but tell the listeners.
Well, it was 2019. I had moved to Lappeenranta. I was in a then seemingly very functional relationship, but I was dealing with some issues of my own. And during that slug of autumn and winter, I ended up working on some music that was newer to what I had done before. I used to be very heavy into making just generic jazz rap, old school hip hop stuff. And then during the year, I ended up kind of working on more. I ended up using more like actual instruments, less sampling, and the lyrics were a lot less. They were more personal and a lot less like what would you say? Like it had less of that hip hop machismo, and it ended up being most likely my favorite project to date. Even though listening to it right now, it kind of does show its age and does possibly for me paint a picture that I don't want to think about. But it was a pleasure to make, not such of a pleasure to listen to now, but a pleasure to make.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the instrumental side of it, because this is the Suomi rap. This is Finnish. Unfortunately for the international crowd, the lyrics to this album are in Finnish.
Yeah.
But you play the bass. You also play guitar on this album, and you play the
piano.
sampler, right? Ah, piano, right? Yeah.
Piano, bass, sampler, guitar, and then on one track there's a lot of tape loop fuckery. Suomi Kasetilla, the 6-minute track, there's a tape loop of a like singing voice thing.
Wow.
I was really proud of that then, but currently it's like, yeah, I thought I was smart. Wow. oh, the hip hop guy finds a tape loop type shit. Wow.
Still though, I think you deserve a little bit more credit, because come on, you gotta remember that this was not produced in a vacuum. This was like produced in the late 2010s, which was a terrible time for hip hop as a whole, except for some experimental projects.
Like graduating from listening to Death Grips and finding Heinbach's YouTube channel. Now, yeah, that's a lot. That's like a pipeline there. Heinbach, fucking Death Grips to Heinbach pipeline.
I think is this the fucking episode where I do my Heinbach rant? I don't know if the people are ready for that yet, but I've got a Heinbach rant cooking. Yeah, I don't think this is the episode where I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna release a solo episode where you just put it up Heinbach. Yeah.
Fuck Einbach, he's too rich. Yeah, that's the short
Rich
version.
people ruining experimental music rant.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, just kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Rautakeuhko. Extremely amazing album. This was produced, I think, on the SP mainly, right? And a little bit of FL
SP404,
Studio.
Yeah. SP404, I bought it like that time. I got like a monthly return from disability payments, which is over €1,000. So I decided to buy an SP404.
Nice.
That went well.
It's just, the way it fucking goes.
Yeah.
Silta.
That would be when I discovered Memphis rap, like on whole.
Yeah.
Took like 3, actually 4. There are 4, but 3 of them are on Bandcamp. At least the 2 to at least the 4 are like, yeah.
Fuck! I used to have the first one, but I accidentally deleted it when my
I think I needed to put it on Bandcamp anyways because
like I think the first and the second one came out before Lungterror. And that was kind of very influential to me when making that album. Like I wanted to have that Memphis side in it, but super twisted.
Yeah. They were like going from like a 50-second grindcore song length, like short jam tracks to then like they were all short tracks, but like very very different vibes on each track. We go from like having a guitar to having cowbells that sound more like beating on like a metal object.
Yeah, and it's super tapey. Like one of the greatest things about what you do, in my opinion, is your sound design. You know, the way you sculpt the timbres and you make it all sound like so homogeneous. It's insane. Like all these projects, many of his projects are or their projects are actually like in tape form on Bandcamp, so it's like a 20-minute thing. Etala Silta, I'm checking right here. The second one is in singular tracks, but I think maybe the fourth.
Third one is also all of these are in singular tracks.
Okay. Yeah. So that's like a moment form if you want to use like classical vocabulary. But yeah, it's fucking amazing. Like as Rautakeuhko just said, like the fucking spectrum of shit that's going on here. You know, like each track is very very different. It's its own sound world, and it's very much still kind of coming from a very lo-fi, slightly boom bap-ish, but also very Memphis influenced place. So it's very very much paying homage to like certain stylistic pioneers, while also presenting a kind of very short and concise showcase, you know, of like what Toivo can do with a sampler and a few instruments.
Yeah, especially on Eteläsilta, there's also like, even if the tracks may sometimes be, from my opinion, very much what you'd find on YouTube on like a funk mixtape, I think like I can hold pride in the simple fact that these tracks are, I don't know, I think they capture like the vibe of older like Memphis rap pretty well, because often when you go to YouTube and look for like Memphis funk, drift funk mixtape thing, they still sound very clean because the people who made them didn't like pay that much thought to how an actual, if you were working on hardware in that day and era, how it would sound when you have to when all of the gain of the instrument is all fucked up. That you might have to boost a track really loud because you have a drum machine that doesn't output enough loud signal, or your synth outputs too low of a signal or too high of a signal too. And essentially there's a lot of like, I had to put, or I intentionally, and I didn't have to put like 3 compressors on a track to make it, make one, like, for example, make the bass into a entire sausage. Then I had to EQ out the lows out of a cowbell because it was clashing with the bass being a sausage. So it like we're very much building on doing shit wrong on those tracks or trying to emulate it going wrong.
Yeah, that's something I noticed when I listened to 3-6 Mafia the other day.
Yeah.
And like there are lots of what I think a bad producer would probably call a production blunder on there.
Yeah.
Like lots of stuff that kind of sounds unprofessional, maybe to more like conventional ears. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, actually that music is kind of genius. Like it is so hypnotizing and these kind of subtle dissonances. Like with 3-6 Mafia, everything is kind of detuned. Like every sample clashes kind of with everything else, and it's damn, that's such a good sound.
And it has that big vibe of working what you working with what you got. There's like, if you can't get that sample in tune and you still have to use that sample, why not? Like, as long as it fits like as a whole track, it doesn't matter if like every part of it is fucked up.
Yeah, it creates a very unique thing, and you've kind of created something very interesting by just using creative production on the SP and some software, and also a lot of analog gear. And trying to model, like the analog production workflow with multi-tracking gear on tape. You obviously have like the very unique noise profile that comes with every piece of gear that you use, and then overdubbing that kind of shit creates kind of a noise signature, and this is something you've got down to a T. Like if you listen to a tape,
like sort of harmonic sounding hum in the background of some tracks. That specific like very loud hum.
Yeah, so good. You've actually even produced 2 songs, I think, on a jazz album of mine.
On Play. Yeah.
And that's super inconventional. I don't think there's any other jazz album out there that has like this level of like obvious production choices.
Yeah,
yeah, but I wanted that. Like otherwise I wouldn't have asked you. I wanted you to really fuck my shit up, and you did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's obvious that like the 2 tracks I produced were produced by a hip hop kind of person who works with hip hop a lot.
Yeah.
But then again, like I wouldn't go to claim that. Yeah, my stylistic choices and production choices are often very hip hop. But then when I get down to brass tacks, most of my life I didn't listen to that much hip hop. So some of my inspiration comes from the most weird of, not weird, but like most non-hip hop of places like Modest Mouse, Phil Elverum, the Mount Erie guy.
There's always this indie kind of alternative rock influence too. In the stuff you do, which sometimes when you work in the hippie idiom, in the hip hop idiom. Holy shit! Yeah, I should cut that out. I think I won't remember.
Yeah.
But whenever you work in the hip hop idiom, sometimes you create like these sound walls that are so much more abrasive than regular hip hop fellas would come up with. Which, in my opinion, is fucking amazing. Like, it's not abrasive as in it's tacky. Like when I listen to noise rap, sometimes you just can tell that that's a regular rapper, trying to be loud.
Yeah.
But that's not the case with you. That's just the way your stuff sounds.
In noise rap, there's this kind of like they're posing an aggressive sound, trying to act out the motions that go into creating a track that has an intimidating, abrasive, or that sort of like very in your face like style, but
like
then
producing afflictions that are just stereotypically linked to a noisy soundscape, like I'm the angry noise man.
And like ending up replicating something that has been already replicated by someone who replicated it from someone else. An impression of an impression of an impression ends up like at some point you're watering down like the first person who got the impression until there's a point where you can just distinguish that this is a game of telephone being played with music.
Basically, yeah, absolutely. And Like, yeah, we've become like boomers. Now we're sitting here talking on fucking podcast episodes on the internet, complaining about nose rap posers.
My hairline is receding already. God, let's go.
Oh shit, my hairline can't recede any further than that. Yeah, we gotta switch topics real quick.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. People keep hitting me up about doing Lungterror 2. People really want us to do Lungterror 2.
Yeah, it's like soon.tm, like we got the small TM on the end. Soon.
Yeah. I think we should really like look into doing that, and
we should.
Yeah, I want it way more stupid. I really want to turn the stupid dial up to 11 and like really
crank off that like
drooling
caveman
music. Yeah, caveman drooling music, small brain hours. Yeah. That would be fantastic. Like, I'm so tired of like pretending to be a smart rapper. Sadly, I can't talk at all about your recent lyricism because it's all in English. I think your only English tracks are like early SoundCloud stuff you did, and and your collaborations.
I have actually one track of one album of English music beyond collaborations on Bandcamp. Many Faces of One. With the like painted sort of a self-portrait image.
Oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna link that too. Oh, wonderful, yeah, that's a full album. I think I remember this. Hang on. I think I listened to Sasquatch Tears at some point.
Yeah.
Some other tracks. Yeah, I gotta check this out again. Holy shit, you're so fucking prolific.
Like looking at my Bandcamp, like that's a year of work, essentially. Besides Kaleva Boogie, Zentieteitte Somalla, yeah, that's about a year of work. So, time well spent, yeah.
Wow. Holy shit. I hear you're vaping there.
I quit smoking. I hope it doesn't
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Yeah, you need a different name now.
Trust me, like, this shit ain't exactly like it ain't bad, but it ain't exactly good either.
You gotta switch it to the popcorn lung.
Yeah, so, came from like spitting out slime balls the big as my fist to when I lay my head back, I start like automatically snoring because
oh no,
the vape just goddamn irrigates your like nasal thing. It's like not in a good way too. It's like my whole like breathing system is swollen because I'm not even using nicotine liquid. It's like it's gotten that bad. Like just compulsively.
What the fuck?
From the vape, like no nicotine, just flavored fluid. I was like horrid. Why am I doing this to myself?
Wow, holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking insane. Like why are you doing this to yourself?
It's compulsive. Like you buy a vape when you try to quit smoking. You use nicotine liquid for a bit. And then you realize you've been just inhaling flavored vapor for like a month or so. And then you have that moment where you think, is this what I'm doing right now? Is this who I am? and then when that small moment of lucidity stops, you put the vape to your mouth again and keep on doing it. It happens like monthly when you think, I am actually doing this. I am...
Oh, goddamn, yeah. It's Lungterror and the popcorn lung.
Yeah, more like inhaling like Chinese bathtub chemical, goddamn vape flavors. I'm pretty sure like when I went from cigarettes to vape, it's like I switched out the heavy metals for a little less heavy metals. Still a lot of heavy metals. I think like I'm inhaling cadmium by the minute, but going from that to like somebody just made it in a bathtub in the CCP, like. Not
nice.
exactly good either.
Oh damn. Yeah, that's how it goes. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the wheels. Is there anything we've missed?
After Etla Silta, well,
there's a lot of stuff actually. Like
I guess like the next two that are like worth talking about are Seal Tape and Seal Tape, like the second one, that both with the red MS Paint album covers.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I listened to those when I was coming home from some sort of vacation. Yeah, when I was coming home from France.
Yeah.
Damn,
Oh yeah,
that
France.
was a different thing. That was
It's also in English, by the way.
yeah, right. That's also in English, and it's fuck. I really don't think I can remember what it sounds like anymore. But I know that it was something that I didn't expect.
And it's like sad and kind of melodramatic, more noisier, and has a little bit of like very very out of tune singing, and that sort of it has an eerie and how would I explain this, like eerie and somewhat, I guess, like if some of my tracks were noisy and abrasive in like an aggressive way, this would more be like kind of just screaming in a dark room, complaining sort of way, like Russian sleep experiment type of the abrasiveness.
Just the better Kanye West uses.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know why that comparison comes to mind. That was probably stupid.
There's a lot of like on the second one, Schizogenic Inheritance, there's a lot of like there are gabber drums on some of the tracks, and we got songs called Bask in the Shine of Sunlessness and Electricity by Our Side, which is like naming convention moment, and it's sort of, it's a little more like sing-song melodic, but also it still has a lot of typical like hip-hop electronic music type of experimental ideas, mostly with there's a lot of tape noise on them too, I think.
And now I remember, Electricity is on Our Side is also a Bus Driver album, so
yeah,
that's holy shit. It all comes around to that. Then there's Tessa Mazoo and Elron, who's also there.
And we got Tessa Mazoo is those are like when I was lived in Tesoma still. A lot of like more like very generic hip hop stuff. Not a lot of like just hard boom bap drums and very like grungy dark samples.
And then you had there's Sam Squanch. There's your MF Doom
English comedic rap personality.
Comedic personality.
Pitch shift your voice type stuff.
Yeah. Also wonderful stuff. I think that's also in English.
It is. Yeah.
So I don't know what I was on about with so much of Rod stuff being in Finnish.
It's still mostly like Finnish language majority, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's so much great stuff. Honestly, everybody should check it out. It's like the sound design is superb. It's kind of noisy. It's experimental. Some of the older stuff is glitchy as fuck. I don't know if you've been using glitch as much in your...
Currently not as much, because I haven't been working on that much lately. Mostly there was like two things done for like a Finnish youth culture thing, which were like paid. What's the thing, like paid?
Commissions.
The paid commission things, like for what's the word, like like making the music for like producing, playing it for like a track, and writing it down, like stuff. Not that much rap stuff. I mean, they are also like hip hop beats, but they are not necessarily what I would call my own style. But on like the Tesoma Zoo, from the Tesoma Zoo 2 and Tesoma Zoo 2, the Chinese Counterfeit Mafia, those two are the glitchiest, like by far. Yeah. They have like the glitch, stutter, repeat effects a lot, and I think those are also tracks with like like albums with no rapping on them. I guess like there's a few remixes on the Chinese Counterfeit Mafia. I think that was mostly a remix album.
Oh, that was so good though. Chinese Counterfeit Mafia. Oh Jesus.
And we got the like MF Doom with the meaty eyes on the cover. Rest in peace.
Oh shit, rest in peace. That shit was fucking terrible. Oh yeah, the deep fried MF Doom.
Yeah, he looks like somebody just like He looks like somebody really took a shit in his morning like cereal. He done with life. Woke
Someone
up.
pissed
there's
in his
shit in my
kitchen
cereal.
sink.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. That's one way to. Yeah. Not a thing you should be doing. By
Exactly.
far.
If you don't want to be knocked unconscious by Rautakeuhko from Finland.
Yeah. If it were a situation where violence is necessary, it's when somebody pisses in the kitchen sink and doesn't confess to his actions. Let's just say that.
Oh man.
Well,
yeah, that's. I
story
think
for
we have to
another
leave
day.
it at that. Sorry, man. I'm. If you don't have anything else you want to mention, like
A Land for Mercenaries. Oh fuck!
Oh,
A
yeah.
Land for Mercenaries, the one with the red and yellow album cover.
Yeah.
That
right here. Yeah.
that is by far the only album I have released that I would recommend people to either buy or steal. And if you make rap music, rap on it. It's probably my favorite like beat production thing.
Yeah.
We got a lot of jazzy and still like kind of I don't know, like goddamn jazzy reverb tape delay stuff. Very. Also, it has some of those glitch effects too.
Yeah, it's slightly glitchy. It's very boom bap. I've actually used one of these beats. I've used
On
first
the
track,
Electric
Nano
Heresy
Machines.
album.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Electric Heresy. And yeah, it's fucking fantastic. As Toivo said, yeah, you should really get this one. It's highly recommended also from my side. December 7th, 2020. So like, holy shit, 2020 was a good year.
Yeah.
For Toivo. 2021 was also great. Let's see what this year will hold. There are 2 projects that came out this year already, I think.
Oh yeah, there's the one with the tarot cards on the album cover, and then that's Kalava Boogie, which came out this year. They are more Finnish, a lot Finnish, mostly Finnish stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of like typical boom bap stuff, still with the tapey sort of smashed together sound.
Yeah, it's quite a recommendable sound, honestly. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. The sound design with Rautakeuhko is superb, and the way it all like matches
Glues
all
together.
Actually, I kind of tried to imitate it on some tracks of Hermanson vs. God, which is weird, kind of using that kind of sound aesthetic on like a classical project.
3 compressors.
Yeah, exactly. I compressed the fuck out of it, and everything was kind of saturated and shit. And I tried to build like noise profiles for the individual tracks and shit. Yeah. So I kind of stole the whole aesthetic and kind of tried to use it just to mask the fact that some of my instrumentation came from Contact and not actual acoustic instruments.
Oh yeah, that's a great loving time of, you know, when it's on the like sideways. If it's like, does this sound like a Contact instrument, or does this sound like a very like too professional sounding playing? Some Contact libraries are really good with like making it sound real, and then there are some libraries which sound fake as hell, even though like very expensive, very professional, but still if you don't use them in like the most specific of ways, it ends up sounding fake.
Yeah, exactly. Like they are completely geared to a different thing that what I'm trying to do. Like they are all like symphonic and these kind of schmoozy strings you will hear all the time, for example.
Yeah.
It's all done in Contact. I would love to have my illusion back from like being a kid and thinking like with every fucking commercial I saw and shit, I felt like there was an orchestra playing that right here. Sadly, that illusion is away now. Now I'm like 5 years away from scoring this kind of shitty music for money, you know?
You're like, when you're young, you think like every commercial sound is played with a live band. When you're old, you realize a lot of shit isn't played with a live band. Or like some of the stuff that is supposedly a live band is actually, it ain't. Yeah. That's what it's not.
Yeah. Like really to a disturbingly large degree. And yeah, I don't know. That's weird, the whole hyper-realism. Fuck it, let's cut off the interview portion of this call. Like, I'm sorry, I'm fucked, and I'm gonna tell you in a minute when I'm off air. But this has been Fold by Fold. I've been talking to Toivo Aaltonen, also known as Rautakeuhko from Finland, from Tampere, Finland. This has been a pleasure. we're talking experimental hip hop and shit like that. Check them out. Yeah, I was Paul Hermansen, and I hope I will still be Paul Hermansen next week. And yeah,
Goodbye.
goodbye.